Hello, Wayfarers. Welcome to our, I think, final stream of the year.
Hmm.
Um, because we do not have any more coming up until the new year now. But we are finishing off the year strong with another episode of our Vampire the Masquerade game. So, uh, Fee, should we do a little recap? Because I don't remember shit about what happened last time.
So last time you guys had been asked by Esme to investigate um, a blog post that had come up about how there were vampires in the city, and it basically hinted at a Halloween party that you guys had appeared in, um,
That's right.
and it kind of escalated a little bit. You thought you had figured out the problem, but you have, maybe you have not. Well, we shall wait and see if this comes back and bites you in the butt later. Um, we did have a nice moment of Reinhardt and Esme, because she is not a fan of Lou at all in any way, shape, or form. Um, but she had a nice little moment with Reinhardt where they had a whole they're idiots. Yes, yes, they are idiots. Try not to get them killed, or at least Tabitha. And then it was like cool, and then they went on their way. And you guys did a bit of investigating, which was difficult because Cal wasn't there, because it was all to do with digital things. um, and at the end, it seemed like things were wrapped up in a nice little bow, except for the fact that Cal wasn't there, so you don't know for definite.
Oh yeah, he made a new friend,
Hmm.
the streamer
Yep, Isabella.
That's right. I
Isabella.
have her. I have her shoes.
You do have her shoes.
You do have.
um,
Yes, Tabitha kept stealing things from these houses we were discreetly breaking
That's the Sarah I know.
into.
Yeah.
mhm. She was just like, oh, look at this. It's a fridge magnet. I'm just gonna take it. Um, yeah. So, we will start off right at the very end of the last session. So you guys had all agreed to meet up at Thirst. Um, and you had sent the information to Esme, and then you got a message saying that it was a picture of all of you, and someone saying, "I'm still watching." Now, while all of this was going on, um, and you had sent messages to Cal, he'd forwarded them to his school. You got some information, but it hadn't really gone anywhere. Um, so, Cal, you wake up. So, this is the same night, just earlier on.
Cool.
Um, and you do whatever Cal does when he first wakes up. Um,
Yep. Feed bats, put on my face.
and you, as you go to feed the bat, you notice that it's a lot stronger than it was before, but it's also a bit bigger than it was. So as you go to feed it, it flies at you and bites you. Um, Something happens, you're not entirely sure. Things happen so fast, but it's almost like you sort of freeze, and then everything goes dark. You don't remember anything, but you wake up and you're on top of your building.
On the roof.
Yep. And you don't know how you got there.
I've got all my
You,
clothes and stuff on.
yep. You have some messages from the gang about things that had happened during the night, and a few things from Magdala, um, about what had been going on. You have no recollection of any of this.
All right, well, I will climb down from the roof. What kind of roof is it? Is it like a flat roof or am I like on a triangular roof?
No, it's a flat roof.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine he's like looking around, all nervous and anxious. My phone is in my pocket, right? He said he's got his
Yep.
phone. How long ago was that the last message you sent?
The last message would probably have been about 2 hours ago.
It looks
But
like
you don't. You've replied, but you don't remember replying.
Oh, okay, that's worrying. I'm going to go back into my hole in the wall and destroy the phone. Because I think he'd believe he'd been hacked first.
Okay. As you go down and back into your hole, you notice that the place is a mess.
I imagine Cal's got like his own weird CCTV setup, so I'm going to spend some time scrolling through like one phone that I always leave on to see if what happened.
Okay. So you see you getting up, feeding the bat, the bat flying at you, and then it's almost like you have almost like a fit. So you're obviously like shaking, your eyes are vacant, and then it's almost like you start to. It almost looks like you're starting to panic. So you're like knocking things around, like you feel like you have to get out, and then you finally stagger out the door and you're gone.
Okay. In the room, is the bat still there? In my
No,
wall
the bat
space?
left when you did.
Oh no. Okay. All right. I accidentally let loose a killer bat. Is my cat here?
Yes, and your few little rat friends,
Oh yeah,
and
the
they,
spies.
yeah, and the cat is looking very uninterested in everything except for the fact that cat's not been fed yet. Even if it's had 17 dinners, you haven't fed the cat yet.
Yeah, that's it. My cat's like that in
Um,
real life.
yep.
Cal will like tear off a bit of his cheek and like feed it to the cat and stroke its head while it eats his face.
The little ratling, or the little rats,
I hiss at them because I know they're just a bunch of grasses.
they aren't scared of you, but one of them, the kind of first one that arrived, it's slightly smaller than the rest, but it's got like little kind of like scars and its ears a slightly different color. You can almost tell that this one's kind of like the leader, even though it's smaller, it's a scrappy little thing. And it almost kind of gives you a look of what if you'd ever seen it on a rat before, you might have recognized
Yeah,
it.
he hangs out
Takes
rats
you a
a lot.
while, but you realize that it's grudging respect on your face, on this little rat's face.
Okay. Cal's gonna like cock his head and get quite close to the rat and be like, "Tell your masters, I need to know what's happened here. I'll see them soon."
It just kind of nods its head, and then they all scurry off.
And then I'm gonna text Lou and say, "What is up?"
I will forward the message that we received with the image to Cal and just say at the club.
And this picture is it of all of us?
You're not there, it's of the three of them, and they're outside. They're basically heading into Thirst.
I wouldn't reply to that. Lou would know that he's like so PO'd at the fact that we've had a photo taken of us. It's just so beneath us. And then I'll just text back BRT, be right there, and I will head over. And I'm not going to mention anything about the lethal bat I may have unleashed on the city.
Okay. So
They saw me carrying it around when it's small, but they didn't. Did they see it becoming like large and kind of gross?
No, it's
Okay,
almost
that's
like
fine.
it happened fairly quickly. Like nothing happened for a few days, and then all of a sudden it's gotten like really big. So yeah, so you make your way to Thirst, and I'm assuming everyone's in their usual booth. Oh, Tabitha was up doing a set. Pretty sure at the end of that. So what are you guys doing?
probably still at my, place that I work. I'd imagine probably just woken up, and I might just quickly have.
So this isn't a new day. This is basically straight after the last session. So you had all gone back
Oh, okay.
first before you disappeared off.
I'm, while doing my set, watching the audience like a hawk for any kind of images or, shadows of someone that could give away that they have been watching us. I'm in full paranoid mode, and so I'm
Yeah,
watching
I figured that. I was just more like, you do realize that you're in a club in the modern day, right? There's going to be phones and everything everywhere.
Well, that's about phones, but just like of her sight, essentially, because she can't control all of it.
So are you using your sight, or are you just using your normal eyeballs?
I'm using my normal eyeballs, which, because we had talked about that before, like her ability, she can't control all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just appear in her sight, and so it may be real or not to her. She's not quite sure. So she's just watching shadows and seeing, or anybody that's like watching her a bit too intently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, she could just also see someone that's just watching her enjoying the show, and she's going to freak out and go after them. So, who knows?
This is fair.
So she's just watching the audience, trying to see anything that jumps out at her.
Okay, if you can do probably an awareness roll for me. Because you're just looking for people that are staring at you. You're not trying to actually see if anyone's got anything, thinking anything bad about you. You just want to see people that are staring.
Well, really anything that jumps out. I got no successes, but it was essentially just to watch people.
Yeah.
That look suspicious. Like looking for a stalker.
No, that's fair. You see some people, obviously, they're kind of like look at you, but the moment you kind of go to stare, they're like move their phone out or whatever, or they like start like cheating, dancing to music. It's like things that happen on a normal night for you when you're DJing. I know, but at the moment, nobody's really leaping out at you as a, oh my god, this person's.
If no one's suspicious, everyone is suspicious.
That is Cal's mindset.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's any evidence of heresy, you're not looking close enough.
Yeah. Like he's all paranoid for no reason.
Oh, I'm not.
That's true. You have a reason to be paranoid. Yeah. So, anyone else up to anything before?
Yeah.
Cal appears.
I think Lou is going to. He's going to excuse himself from the table, and he's going to go and walk over towards the bar. But as he goes, is going to try and basically slink away and sneak out the back of the club.
Okay. Are you trying to sneak out without Reinhardt and Tabitha noticing you? Or just sneak out in general?
No, I'm not trying to hide this from Tabitha and Reinhardt. I'm trying to slip away so that none of the people in the club notice it happen. I don't mind if Tabitha or Reinhardt notice that I've done it. It's just I want to. If we're being watched, he wants to make an attempt to try and like slip past the view of whoever has been watching us.
Okay. If you do a stealth roll for me then.
Okay, just stealth.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it is a club on. Just trying to think what day of the week it is actually. Probably I think it's Tuesday.
student night?
I think it's Tuesday night.
Oh, that's not good.
Student night.
Well, those all failed, but there was a critical fail on the hunger die.
Uh-oh. That's an extra 2 to your hunger.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Okay, so I don't do this very stealthily at all. But I am still going to slip out the back of the club.
That's fine. I mean, you know your way around. The staff that work there all know you anyway.
Yeah.
So you do get out as far as you're aware without anybody really noticing you. Like, obviously, there's the staff, like, obviously one of the staff let you out the back. And obviously there's, like, drunk patrons that noticed you because you do also have the whole I'm a really good looking vampire thing going on.
Yeah.
So you are fairly noticeable.
My whole thing is very much being noticed.
Yeah.
He is not bad at stealth. He's got 3 points in stealth, but
The
just
dice
not.
gods decided that
Dice
Lou
Gods
is the-
decided that Lou is not having a sneak
No.
tonight.
Can I ask a mechanical question?
Yes.
With our hunger levels, do they
Mhm.
automatically go up each session? I know we've talked about this before, and that I feel like it. Yeah.
It's for
Paying
every night we don't feed, they go up by 1. I think was what we
Okay.
said.
Yeah,
And
so
with
we.
the,
Sorry, what were you saying?
with the hunger die, is
Uh-huh.
it just a critical fail on the hunger die that makes it go up, or is it also a failure?
It's a failure takes it up by 1, a critical takes it up by 2.
Okay.
We did have it where, basically, because you know that you have to feed all the time anyway, we did have the mechanic in place so that things didn't always carry over.
Yeah.
That essentially before you went to sleep for like during the day, that you would have fed before you went to sleep.
Mhm.
Your hunger was always at a 1 when you woke up in the morning or evening.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously it's still the hunger carried over from last session. as
Yeah.
well.
No, that puts me at 3, so I'm very wary of failing too many rolls. But
I mean, you can obviously feed at any point you want. If you think your hunger dice is getting too high, you can feed on someone. You don't, basically, to get your hunger down to 0, you have to drain someone dry.
Yeah.
But obviously that makes it a little bit more conspicuous, and also it still only lasts for a certain amount of time before it automatically goes back up to a 1.
Yeah. But so even though it's not stealthy, Lou's heading out the back, and he's going to take out his phone and pull up the photo that we got sent by this stranger, and he's going to kind of look around, kind of slink back around the front of the club from outside, and it's basically going to kind of try and work out where the photo was taken from.
Okay. I mean, you can work out fairly easily the kind of rough area that it was taken from. It's basically just almost between 2 buildings. There's nothing remarkable about that area. Like, people walk past it all the time. Like, you've seen so many photos where people have taken it when they're walking up to Thirst.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like the main street to it.
Yeah, I just want to have a look around the area and see if I can see if maybe the person's dropped something or left something.
Okay. Do an investigation check for me. Or if you can bullshit me into rolling something else, I will.
Could I make an argument for awareness with my heightened senses? I have nothing in investigation.
Technically, you probably could, because this technically is a threat. So yeah, I'll let you roll awareness.
Cool. Well, that's still 2 hunger dice, so. That's one success and one failure.
Okay.
I need to feed.
So as you're looking around, again, it's hard to look properly because there's still people coming and going all the time. You think you might have spotted something, possibly a mark or something on the wall, but before you get a proper look at it, a whole crowd of people come and sort of start to kind of be like, "Oh my God, hi!" Like they don't know. You can tell they don't know who you are, but you're a good-looking guy, so they're like, "Hi!" and start like twirling their hair, and they're like, "Yeah, are you going to Thirst? Because we're going to come and have a drink with us."
Like, yeah, I'm in Thirst like all the time. Okay, it's like my club. Well, kind of. I know the guy who owns it. No, I'll be going in there in like a few minutes. So I tell you, head in, go get some drinks, and I'll come meet you in a sec. I just got to sort something out first.
Okay, thanks. And they're like,
Bye.
like drunk women do. I say that like I wasn't around drunk people at the weekend, but anyway. So yeah, so again, you think you spotted something, but by this point, you can't find it again. There's still people coming in. So it's.
Do I have
it's
an idea in my head of what it was, what the symbol was?
If you properly concentrated, you could possibly draw it again, but you wouldn't be able to know for sure unless you went back later on without people around. Because it's one of those things where it's fairly low to the ground. So if you start looking at it, you're going to start looking, folk are going to knock into you or whatever. There's also the possibility that someone could pee on it, or a dog could pee. You never know. So it's either potentially take a chance now or wait until later. Bearing in mind it's probably coming up for about midnight at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. Probably got a couple of hours still until the streets start to clear. I think at this point Lou's getting pretty antsy because I'm on 4 hunger at the moment. So I think he's gonna I don't think he's gonna go back to the club straight away. I think he's gonna try and just see if he can find someone alone on the street so that he can have a quick feed. And maybe just linger for a bit outside. And just kind of keep an eye out on the place and kind of like keep in close proximity as to where I think I saw that symbol. We don't really have many leads at the moment, and anything is worth preserving. So yeah, find someone lonely so that I can feed, and then just hang out outside for a bit.
Okay, I mean it's easy enough to find someone that's kind of standing by themselves, either waiting on someone or waiting for like a taxi or whatever. So again, I would say it's easy enough to
just find someone, use a bit of entrancement to get them to follow me somewhere secluded.
Yeah, I imagine you've done stuff like this before enough that it becomes fairly easy at this stage.
It's not the way I like to feed, but in a pinch,
times.
In a pinch it works.
So yeah, you get your hunger down to 2.
Down to 2, yeah?
Yeah, because you're still obviously trying to keep an eye on your surroundings, the situation and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 2. But yeah, Lou's just going to hang out, keep an eye out on the area, and wait until the area is clear enough that he can take another proper look at that wall.
Okay. And what is Reinhardt doing before Cal gets there?
He's probably just sat at the bar. He's probably ordered himself a whiskey because he can actually drink things.
True.
So he's probably just sipping that. Not really overly bothered about the photo because in his mind, someone snapped a picture of him out with somebody who goes around courting publicity. To him, it's not really anything worth worrying about because it's been taken in a social space. If the picture was taken while he was at his own place, then he'd have a problem with it. At the moment, it's not even crossing his mind to be worried about. So yeah, he's just relaxing because it's been a strange night.
Yep, that it has. Okay, so then Cal, you arrive at the club. You see, I'm assuming you get in through your normal entrance, which is underneath.
Yeah. Unless
Yeah.
I see Lou hanging around outside, I would talk to him first.
If you, let's see, yeah, if you do an awareness check for me, just share awareness.
To be fair, I very much failed my stealth roll, so.
Yeah, but it's more if you're feeding at the moment.
That's true.
And also because Cal's not necessarily expecting you outside.
That's one success.
Okay. Yeah, so as you are coming up to where you usually sneak in, you do see Lou, but he is in the process of feeding.
I'm gonna like kind of crouch down behind the person. When he finishes feeding, you can just see my grinning, ugly face there.
Excellent.
Please, Cal,
Hey.
I just ate. I don't want to lose my meal.
I thought I could smell hunger. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm feeling so much better now after that. That is, it's been a stressful night. And
Make him walk off or whatever, run along, whatever you have to say.
oh, right, yeah. Just turn back to the person I was feeding. I was like, look, I'll see you again some other time, but I'm going to catch up with my friend real quick. So, trot along.
That's good. This person literally looks like they're in a complete daze. Basically,
Yep.
the mark you've left just looks like a giant hickey. So they're literally like, okay,
Yeah.
just wander off.
Because I have lingering kisses and as a power, they just want more. So
Yeah, the moment they're just a little bit dazed, which is good for you. So.
yeah, absolutely.
And he's gonna like push one of his eyes into his head and look up and be like, "Do you not miss the look of fear when you feed? They seem so happy with you."
I don't think I ever really thought about it that much. No. I don't think I miss being feared in any way. I like the adoration that the mortals give me.
Yeah, I know. We all feed in our own way.
Yes. And
Look,
mine just happens to be very pleasurable for both parties.
I suppose so. Very quick. I like to take a long time to get to know them.
That's fair. There is something very enjoyable about having a person repeatedly come back and begging you to feed on them again. So, it works for me. Anyways, good to
This
see
picture. Oh yeah, you too. this photo. Are we worried?
you. I mean, probably not any more than we were before. We already knew that they were watching us.
You think it's the same person?
I can't imagine it would be anyone different, but maybe.
You're right. Sometimes I see conspiracies where there are only one.
Well, I'm not saying it couldn't be more than one person, but
You think it is? Wait.
No, I don't think we have more than one. Maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I don't feel like there's more than one immediate threat.
Yeah.
Whether that is coming from an individual or a group is impossible to say, but
we are our quota of peril, I agree, and we'll unravel the thread either way.
Oh, of course.
This picture feed, can I, like how you can get data from images up?
Yeah.
Like they do, that's how they track like people's IP and stuff, and upload illegal stuff. Can I get any of that data? Is it intentionally hidden? Or is it just lazily, like, it's just uploaded?
It's basically, it's almost like it's been taken from a camera phone and just sent straight to you.
Oh, wow, okay. So you might be able to get the number or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I have the I don't have the number. They sent it to my phone, so.
We've got access to the police computer infrastructure. We could track the phone.
Very much could.
Although they're an amateur and they've still got it.
Sure. Although for the purposes of that, I should probably avoid going anywhere near the police station for a little while.
Why?
Oh, I don't know if I told you, I killed David.
Oh. It was useful.
He'd reached the limits of his usefulness.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I can get in there, but I don't want to go alone. He like nervously looks around. The big Z, she was in that room.
Yes. Yeah, she was. That is scary.
Very.
And she is... she is interesting, to say the least. I think... the thing that holds us in a bit of standing right now is that whatever she is after seems to be the same thing we are.
Agreed.
So we
I just don't want to turn
be...
that card until we absolutely have to.
100% absolutely not suggesting we approach her on this whatsoever. But,
agreed.
But if the situation arises where she approaches us, I'd like us to have the best hand we possibly can. Which is why I was out here trying to see if I could find anything from where they took the photo.
Did you find anything?
I saw a symbol down there, but I can't get a good look at it with all these people around.
You want me to look?
Yeah, you can have a look, or...
You do the people.
Yeah, I'll keep people away from you for a little bit whilst you check it out.
Right. Maybe we can...
It's like old
show
times.
Dick Grumpy. Yeah, he really is. And yeah, he'll pull his hood down like over his face more. Make sure none of it's dripped on the floor. Rub it in the ground if it has. And then slink off into the group of the flunkies. And then as they approach Lou, he'll just walk backwards and be like, I'm not actually with these guys. And then look for this symbol that Lou told me about.
Okay. So if you can do either an awareness or an investigation for me, see if you can find it.
They're the same, okay. You can't add them, can you? It's just one or the other.
Yeah, just one or the other.
Right. Oh, sweet. A critical success and 2 normal successes.
Nice.
Max.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you see it almost right away. Just because he's kind of given you general direction, and as people are obviously sort of walking past, you just slink back into the shadows, and you manage to get right down without anyone noticing. So at first glance, when you were a little bit further away, it almost looked like a symbol that you'd seen on, obviously, like one of the photos from like the bodies and things like that. On closer glance, it's not. It's basically just an open eye with like eyelashes at the top. But it looks like it's been carved over and over and over again into the wall. Almost like someone was making sure this was a good spot and making sure it was marked.
It's like a hobo sign.
Yeah. I'll take a photo of it and send it to Reinhardt. WTF is this attached to it? And then I won't even tell Lou. He knows that I'll meet him inside the club. I just like slink past his little cronies.
Yeah. I'll kind of like be over Cal's shoulder as he sends the message, and you say WTF is this, and then I just follow up with a message to Reinhardt saying WTF equals what the fuck. And then head into the club.
Yeah.
That's fine. So at the same time as Reinhardt gets this message, Tabitha is doing her bit on the dance floor. She looks like she's kind of starting to go into a trance, and then all of a sudden it's like something happens on the dance floor where everyone starts looking. It's almost like folk have had notifications. Folk are looking down at their phones. Folk are screaming at their friends. You hear random messages of going, "This is a hoax." You know, it's just complete pandemonium has happened on the dance floor. Nobody's paying attention to you, Tabitha, whatsoever.
Well, that's good.
So you, like say, obviously you're in the middle of it, you're trying to get into the zone, and then this is just completely taking the mood far, far away. With folk like screaming, shouting, there's phones going everywhere, folk are showing pictures, there's some people are screaming, other folk are finding it hilarious. You've no clue what's going on. But it's completely disturbed your flow.
While you guys are having that scene, I'll just say I was messaging Fee to Tabitha is going to do her premonition to try to see who sent the picture. I think it would be fair to keep doing that because despite what you have just told me, just because I feel like I shouldn't retcon something I've already started to do, especially because I already rolled.
Yep, no, that's fair.
And what I rolled could have dire
yep, this is true.
So I think she's gonna take that moment to start to go more into her trance to do this premonition because everyone, and also try to dive into, because this could be from that same person.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
You don't know.
She I'll just say she makes that connection because she'll do.
I mean,
that.
it kind of makes sense from her point of view, where she's trying to focus on it, and all of a sudden something stopped her from doing it.
Yes. So she's gonna just double down and do that. Now, off camera, I rolled and I forgot to select my second hunger die because I have 2 hunger right now. I rolled really badly, so Fee needs to tell me if one of the hunger die is a critical fail or not. You're welcome to flip a coin.
I would say at the moment it probably wouldn't be.
Okay.
But if you roll, obviously again, because that takes you up to what?
I'm at 4 hunger.
4. So 1 more. Bearing in mind, I will say you can, if you do.
So because of the failure, I was not able to pursue it. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm gonna say you can easily roll again. It's not a problem. Just if you get either a fail or a crit fail. If you get a crit fail, then I will take over Tabitha and tell you exactly what she does.
Okay, I'm gonna push your GMing skills here because I know you're still learning and everything. I need you to play the voices in my head because I am really hungry now, and this is when it gets really bad.
That's fine.
What am I hearing?
Before I get onto that, I will say if you do roll it again and you do get a crit failure, you can choose almost to fail the roll, and then you would still be in control of what Tabitha did.
Okay.
But she would still go on essentially a sort of mini feeding frenzy. You just might have a little bit more control than if I took over. But at the moment, the voices in your head, you've got obviously Betty, who's immediately like, you just calm down, just breathe, it's gonna be okay. We're just focus. We can push through the hunger and we can do what we need to do. And the other ones are just screaming. They're sending you like images of the last thing you ate, of all of these like some of the dark fantasies that Tabitha's had even before she became a vampire, of like you know, hunger, obviously blood, people getting like beaten, things like that have happened in her life. Just literally super quick flashes. Some of them bad, some of them not. Like there's been times when obviously she's fed and thoroughly enjoyed herself because she's a vampire, and things like that. And it's super quick, but the emotions, and it's almost like you can smell the blood as this is all going on.
Okay. I think she will scream and then essentially dive into a premonition almost by a reflex. Just to push out of the noise. She will scream, roll, like turn up the volume, make the beats like the beat really heavy.
Yeah.
Increasing the bass, and it's almost like house music meets happy hardcore, kind of.
Okay.
And she's going to dive in harder.
Okay, go for it. If you want to roll again, go for it.
I've been rolling so badly. I haven't rolled any successes tonight yet.
I keep an eye on Tabitha. And
I mean, if you're at the bar, you probably wouldn't have noticed this at first.
You would have heard her scream.
Yeah, you would have heard her scream.
Yeah, can I then like rotate around to keep an eye on her?
Oh, that's much better.
As you hear her scream and the music gets louder,
I like rolled the exact opposite.
Hey.
Yeah. So as you spin round, obviously, because you hear Tabitha scream, a lot of people, they hear it, but obviously because the music gets louder, they just think it's all part of the act.
Yeah.
Add something to this.
All successes, 3 of them critical.
Nice.
Excellent.
And one so with the critical success on the hunger die, does that change anything?
I'm just trying to think actually. I don't think it. I think actually if it's a critical success,
Fine if it doesn't. I'm perfectly happy being starving. It makes it more interesting.
Let me see. I'm just going to check. Don't think anything happened. I think everything just stays the same.
Cool.
Okay.
It's World of Darkness. Why would anything be better?
Yeah, exactly. So like say as Tabitha, you scream, turn the music up, obviously folk turn to look at you, and then obviously because the beat gets louder, darker and everything, everyone just, it's almost like they forget what's happened on their phone, they all just start dancing, screaming about. Reinhardt, you spin round and you see Tabitha scream, and then it's like her eyes go completely blank and she's just not there anymore. So you're looking to try and see who took the photo or anything about them?
Yeah, I want to dive into who this person is. What the fuck they're about.
Okay. You get flashes of the warehouse at Halloween. with the fire and the removing of heads of vampires. You feel this person is disgusted and horrified, but furious. Not just at you, but almost at like the whole situation. But there's also a hefty dose of sadness involved. Not at the vampires, but at the situation in general. But that sadness and grief quickly turns to just pure rage. And you then get sort of flashes of them kind of following you, so it's almost like them peering around a corner. Like sometimes they won't see you for days, but they found obviously thirst and the fact that you guys all hang about there, so they have been hanging about for days, and they've had the odd sort of photos of one or two of you. Basically, the other person that they're looking for is Cal. They didn't realize that Reinhardt was involved in anything until obviously fairly recently. But they were looking for a photo of basically Tabitha, Lou, and Cal. You can sense that it's definitely got something to do with that night, but not necessarily with what you did. At the moment, you're just the focal point. So you get images of like a room full of almost like a sort of weird conspiracy theorist room where there's like string everywhere and there's different photos and places and newspaper printouts and like printouts of like screenshots of like tweets and Instagram pictures and things like that. So there's like obviously Lou's Instagram, there's Thirst's Facebook page and Instagram page, and there's obviously mentions of you, like obviously of Tabitha and things like that all over the place. And you get a quick glance of when almost like he's seen himself in a reflection. He looks similar, but the moment you can't fully place him. It's almost like you don't know him, but he looks familiar.
What's he look like?
So he has sort of dark, kind of scruffy hair. He's older. He's definitely human. He looks to be a sort of his kind of mid-40s. And you can see a picture on the wall. There's him and two other men. One of whom you recognize from that night at the warehouse.
Is that what she gets?
Yeah, you can tell that he was watching you. You almost see him take the photo and send it to you. He didn't send it to Cal because he doesn't have Cal's number, because weirdly anybody has Cal's number. But he did have the other three. You would probably have got snippets of how he got your numbers. And again, obviously, it was fairly easy for almost all three of you, to be honest. Because obviously, Tabitha through the club, he basically just went in posing that he wanted to book you for a talent, for like a private show.
Yeah.
It's happened before. Sometimes you've gone, sometimes you've not. But obviously, there's business cards with numbers and things like that on. It's easy enough to contact, or not necessarily contact you directly, but to get someone to contact you on their behalf. Lou, it's exactly the same. You've got obviously connections with Instagram, you're an artist, you've had it with galleries and things like that. And Reinhardt, it's with obviously the conservation world. you get flashes of this guy at the conservation museum where Reinhardt works. You don't necessarily know that's where he works, but you get flashes of like books and a briefcase that you assume is Reinhardt's. And then obviously there's nothing about Cal because, you know, he's managed to stay off the radar. That's what Cal does.
Cool. I think when she comes out of her vision, she is manic.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to scan the crowd to see if she sees him. Now that she has a specific face to look for. You could say if she sees him or not. If it's too chaotic or whatnot, or etc.
Yeah, you don't see him, but even then, having that sort of glimpse almost into his mind, he would not have put himself too close to you. At the moment, there's a plan brewing, so he needs something else. Sorry, I like the sound effect. There's a plan brewing, and getting physically close to you is not in the plans. So even scanning the crowd, like, it's almost like a reflex, but there's a part of you that knows he's not going to be there.
She's going to set the deck up to just play and leave the station and just essentially run to the bar where Reinhardt is and grab a napkin and just start. It's like, do you have a pen? Give me a pen. I need a pen.
Pass over a pen.
And just starts drawing, trying to sketch. She's not an artist, lose the artist, but she's going to try to, like, I know what he looks like. I know what this guy looks like. And he found our numbers through our work and stuff, and so there's a plan, and he's human. He's human.
Human.
I don't know if Lou would have been there at this point. I think Lou's still outside.
Still outside at this point.
Yeah, this happens when yous are still outside. I imagine because of this sort of weird connection that Lou and Tabitha have, he has probably sensed that something's happened, but you can never fully tell with Tabitha if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Because sometimes it's both at the same time.
While Tabitha's drawing, I'm gonna stand up and just walk into the crowd and try and see if there's anybody who's got their phone out at the moment.
Okay, easy enough. Folks have their phones out.
I'm gonna. Did I see that everyone went mental on their phones at all?
Oh yeah, it was everywhere.
Yeah,
like...
I'm gonna ask them what happened because my phone's broken, and then I'm going to reach into my pocket and with my, like, silly strength thing that I've got, just like push my thumb through the screen of my phone. So it looks all like shattered.
Yeah,
and just see, look,
like
my phone's completely broken. What was the excitement about?
Okay, so while Tabitha's furiously scribbling and muttering to herself at the bar, you walk over to these group of people.
Actively arguing with nobody.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get to what's happening in your brain in just a moment. Don't worry, Sarah. So you got to them and they're like, oh my god, it's definitely a hoax. Like, what on earth? Like, it can't be real. So obviously you walk up and you're asking them, what's going on. They kind of look at you funny as well because you're weirdly dressed in a club. And they're like, oh, there was, and he shows you, and it's a photo of a giant bat. But you can see the scale that it looks much, much bigger than what a normal bat would look like.
Oh. That's interesting. I thought those type of bats lived abroad. I mean, looking for that picture, there's like huge ones abroad. I mean, there is really big bats out there.
And they're like, dude, do you not notice the building?
I have another look at it again. How big is it in comparison to the building?
So, the building is one that you've seen a lot, because it's fairly close to where Lou and Tabitha stay. It's not their flat. It's not, but it's not too far away, so you know the height and the size of it. And it looks like it's almost people size.
It's probably just perspective or Photoshop.
And you can hear some of them going, well, yeah, obviously. And there's other folk going, no, like, it can't be a hoax, because can you see a Photoshop in there? Like, I know some people are good, but whoever did this clearly either is amazing at it or it's real. It's clearly got to be real. It's like, have you not heard the rumors about that weird thing at the junkyard? And then there's like weird things about people's souls getting sucked out. And then there was this weird person that said about the demons living in our walls.
Those were rats.
They've completely ignored you. It's devolved into chaos in this little group where they're all discussing different conspiracy theories and whether this picture is real or not.
I need that. Okay. I'll just head back.
To be fair, you can tell it's all over social media.
Okay.
Like, it's not like it's been randomly sent to people. It's
like gone viral or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like someone's put a photo on social media somewhere, and it's just taken off, like completely.
Okay. I'll probably just wander back over to where it's a complete brain fart. Tabitha is, and just be like, we might have another problem.
What?
There's a giant bat apparently flying around.
I imagine this Tabitha's not even noticed. She's just responding. She's just saying words because she's like, "Oh, cool," and then muttering away to herself. Inside Tabitha's head, it's a little bit chaotic. So you've got Betty going, "Just breathe, like focus, the shape of the nose," and he's trying to go like he had this feral look in his eyes. His hair was a little bit curlier than that, and he's trying to like keep the peace. Walter and Charles, on the other hand, are very much like, find him, rip his throat out, just murder everybody in here, and then that's one less problem to deal with. Do you not like? We need a bloodbath. Like, you just turn around to someone and just rip their throat out, and that's all that's going on in your head right now. So Betty is trying her hardest and to keep you focused, but there's literally this thing of going, oh, do you remember that time before we came to Europe? And then there was that group of prostitutes. And I know that they were kind of already dead, but there was blood. And it was just, and they're like sending you memories after memory, but they're getting stronger.
Yeah.
And Betty is attempting to keep peace, or at least keep you focused on task.
Yeah, so she probably can't really hear you very well.
Yeah. She's literally like, you start speaking, and she's like, oh, yeah, no, I know that, like, no, his eyes were closer together. I know, but I'm trying.
I can't do that here. Just the fuck up. While feeling very hungry.
Yeah.
And that's probably how Lou finds her. Reinhard trying to talk to her.
Yeah.
She's trying.
She's getting twitchy. So as this happened in the club, Cal got the picture, saw the symbol on the wall, sent it to Reinhardt, and it didn't matter anyway because he just shoved his thumb through his phone, so he didn't see the picture. But like I say, Lou's got this weird connection with Tabitha, So you know that something's going on. Again, good or bad, you have no clue. Those emotions are almost exactly the same in terms of strength for you. So you're not sure whether this is a good moment or a bad moment, but you know, Tabitha, that something's going on. At that moment, people outside go mental, and they all start talking about how this is a hoax. Some folk are like, it can't be real, it's clearly got to be a weird perspective, and things like that. The same commotion is happening outside.
This is interesting.
What?
Happy, are you okay?
Dark.
Are you outside or inside the club?
No, we went in like at the end of our.
This happened. No, this happened before you got in. Like what happened with Tabitha happened simultaneously with you and Cal talking.
Right.
So you are just starting to head towards the club when this whole thing happens. You'll probably get messages actually, Lou, on your phone. All of these pings with folk going, "Oh my god, do you think this is real?" Like social media's gone ballistic. At the same time as everyone else outside and inside.
There we go. Well, that's strange. Someone's fucked up. I'm really hoping I just like show the image to cows. I'm really hoping we're not the ones who have to deal with this one.
It's just a bat.
Sure.
Except for the fact that it looks like it's human-sized.
Yeah, he's like looking at it with admiration. It's probably just really good CGI.
And then someone's like, CGI? No way, that's totally like, it's totally real. Like, have you not seen? There's bats the size of like a beagle flying about already in the world. Why can't there be a human-sized one? The first animal I thought of that wasn't a bat.
There is a bat with a 5-foot wingspan.
Yeah, I'm aware, but they're fruit bats.
Yeah. There are. No. I just turn to the person who's saying this random human. Look, darling, there are a great many wondrous things in nature, and human-sized bats are not one of them. Take it from
fake news.
Take it from me. As I work as an artist anyway, you can definitely fake something like this quite easily, and it would be really dumb to think it was anything but a cheap computer trick.
And then someone else hears and there's laughter everywhere, and then they've just completely forgotten you're there, because you know what it's like when you start getting into a debate with like people.
This is instead of people like just stop, like just forget that I'm there, and I'm just gonna go. I honestly feel a bit hurt by that.
No, they're idiots.
Yeah, someone like laughed and was like, "See, I told you," and it's like, "No way, right?" Because if there's like megalodons in the world, and then it just snowballs, and they're like, "Oh, next thing you know, you'll be telling me like the Bigfoot's real," and you know, it's just, and then vampires.
Just look at you, like, yeah, not all of them are equally as interesting.
No, God, people are dumb.
Weird coincidence, though. I have actually lost that bat I found.
Sorry, this is out of character.
Just a weird coincidence, by the way.
Yeah, I think you bring it up to Lou. There's like, he's not keeping it a secret, is it?
So, which bat is this?
Oh, I was nursing some bat I found.
The bat you found was normal size, right?
Exactly. It's just a weird coincidence.
It
was getting bigger, but not that big.
Cool.
It's gone.
I am going to
so-
operate under the assumption that the bat that you lost is not the same bat that's in these pictures, because my brain might explode otherwise at this point.
I'm doing the same. We have bigger problems.
We really do.
It's just a bat. What are the odds it can be the same bat? How many bats are in the city?
Oh, be thousands.
Exactly. It's not everything's about us.
No. Thank God for that.
Let's get inside.
Yes.
See what the others are doing.
Yes, I think something's wrong with Tabby, and I could probably still do with a little bit more feeding.
Yeah, I can smell it on you.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to go in through the waste disposal area. I'll see you on the inside.
I love how wonderfully weird you are.
I always pays to be cautious.
Sure. And you can make it so that people can't see you.
I don't like to rely on it, though.
No, that's fair.
Especially with recently, people can see me.
That's
I hate it.
That's true. That has happened a couple of times, hasn't it? Okay, I'll meet you inside. I'm going in through
Meet you
the
inside.
front door normally.
Suit yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll regroup.
Yeah, so as Lou goes in through the front door, again, the same chaos and pandemonium that was happening outside is happening inside, but you notice the music's a lot louder than it was before, and that Tabitha's not at the DJ booth. I mean, a quick scan around and you're going to see that she's at the bar, probably because you see Reinhardt first.
She's
I
on to
imagine
drawing number
Tabitha's
5.
like,
She's
Yeah,
on drawing
but
number 5. Napkins.
I
just around
imagine
them.
she's like almost leaned over the bar and is like this.
Mhm.
Folk just think you're on something, but the bar staff are just like, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens often enough that I feel like the bar staff have some sort of weird protocol for it.
Someone else
you-
will be up at the DJ booth.
Yeah, like you can see
soon.
someone else is heading up, but it's obviously not Tabitha. But yeah, the bar staff have enough awareness, like they don't know what happens, but everyone thinks it's some sort of mental illness of some kind that causes Tabitha to do strange things sometimes. I mean, as far as anyone else is concerned, you're harmless. If only they knew. So yeah, so you're like scrolled over the bar, like drawn all over this napkins and stuff. So you probably see Reinhardt before you see Tabitha.
Reinhardt,
Mhm.
is everything okay? Where's Tabby?
Just point next to me.
Oh, goodness. I'm gonna lean in, just gonna put a hand on Tabitha's shoulder and just go,
He like
Tabby?
shrugs it off really quickly. It's like, I need it. No, I know that his eyes are not right. I'm not an artist. I'm trying my fucking best. And she just keeps.
Tabby? Darling,
What?
are you okay?
I know who did it. And she like holds up one of the napkins. It's like he's got curly hair. He's mid-40s. He's human. And I'm gonna drain him dry. Let's go hunting.
You haven't fed yet, have you?
I almost like as she says this, her eye twitches. This is weird little.
You need to feed.
Yes, on him.
Okay, well, we can do that, but first of all, let's get your head cleared. Darling, go to the VIP lounge. I'm going to bring you a snack, okay?
This needs to happen now, Lou.
It will, but let's take care of this first of all, so that you can be in your best mindset.
He was at the warehouse.
Okay.
He saw us and he's been following us. That's too much.
It's fine.
And I didn't just like start to
We're,
look at it.
we're gonna deal with him. Go wait in the VIP lounge.
She'll gather up all the napkins and grab a few more with a pencil and just start to go that way.
I imagine while still scribbling, like with this piece of thing folded over her hand.
Charlie, shut up! I know what I'm doing.
Lou was sent Tabitha through to our little kind of VIP lounge, and then goes basically scout the dance floor and try and pull 2 people and bring them to the lounge with him.
I mean, it's easy enough to do at this point. Like, the atmosphere in the place is a little bit chaotic, and still, obviously, the music's kind of changed, but the atmosphere is still a bit charged because of everything that's happened. So it's probably easy enough to find 2 people that are willing to follow you into the VIP lounge.
Yeah, I bring them into the VIP lounge, start doing my whole seduction routine, and as I kind of got them to a place where they're kind of feeling more comfortable and lost their inhibitions a bit, I'll just kind of signal Tabitha to come in, take one of them and feed, and then I'll feed on the other one.
Okay.
Ravenous.
I imagine, this has probably happened a few times. I will actually, in this case, need Tabitha to do a willpower roll.
Okay. Please remind me how to do this.
So willpower is
resolve plus composure, I think.
Pretty sure that is,
If you've got the character sheet up, sir, it's right underneath your attributes. You've got health and then willpower.
Yeah, I see it. Oh, I see. They're not marked off. I don't know how that works. But I have 5.
Yeah, I basically just.
Yeah.
This does not include hunger dice.
Okay.
Because basically it's to see whether you're actually got enough resolve to not drain the person dry in the middle of the club.
So and it's from 6 up?
Yep.
Okay. So that is 2 failures, 1 critical success, and 2 successes.
Okay. So it gets to the point where you're close. You are very close to potentially draining this person dry. Luckily, Lou is a little bit more in control of his faculties, and manages to sort of rein you back in a little bit. Otherwise, that could have been not good. But you go back to you probably go down to probably 2. Okay. You still need to probably feed again, but you're a lot more stable than you were before.
Okay. Is the other person for me too?
No, the other person was for me.
That's fine. I didn't know what Lou was doing.
Yeah. No, I fed outside, but that only got me down to 2, so I was like, I'm gonna feed again just to be safe.
I'm happy at 2. Makes things interesting.
This is true.
And then just go, okay, you feeling better now?
Yeah.
So you saw this person?
Yes.
Okay. And I look through these napkin drawings. I'm just gonna be like...
Yeah. They're not great.
No.
Yeah, slightly chaotic.
Very chaotic drawings. Okay, so... Significant features, he had curly hair.
Scraggly hair.
Scraggly.
Human, mid-40s.
Mid-40s. What colour was his hair?
It was dark.
Dark hair. Dark, scraggly hair.
I saw it in a reflection. He looked at himself. And there was another one of it was a picture of him and 2 other men, and one of the men was at the warehouse that night. And so he was full of grief and rage. So I imagine he's grieving and upset that his buddies are dead. So
Was it died in the fire at the Lou's going to immediately pull out his phone and search through news articles from the day of the day like after the fire.
Yeah.
To basically see if he can find any names of people who died during that whole situation.
So it takes you a little bit of hunting to eventually find the names, just because obviously it was a whole big thing of a crane at a warehouse, and then there's people there. They didn't know why there's people there. There was a lot of blood, but no bodies, and etc. etc. So you finally find a message. Well, not a message, a name. So obviously there's a huge list of names, but one of them sticks out because you heard him say his own name before this other group of vampires off them, because you were in the background essentially. So his name was Moses Gardner.
Moses Gardner.
And it does show a picture of him, and if you sort of squint and turn your head a little bit, one of Tabitha's drawings looks like it could possibly be similar looking to him.
Well, we have a name. Moses Gardner. That's our mystery man. So he's been the one following us around.
You say that, but Moses Gardner is dead. He is someone that died at that club.
He died.
That's what I'm saying. Is there's a list of names of all the people that
Right,
died.
that's right. He died at the club, and
yeah, he died at the warehouse.
He died at the warehouse, but someone he knew is following us around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thinking back onto that day, because we heard him say his name, was he with the human group, or was he with one of the vampire groups?
He was with the human group.
Okay.
He was pissed off at Duke because Duke had killed his brother.
Right. Well, this is interesting.
Name?
We have the name of someone who is a friend, at least, of the person who is following us.
What was his name?
The friend's name was Moses Gardner.
I'll search it on Facebook immediately.
Yeah, so I was thinking the same thing. See if he's got a friends list on there. You tell him, Ted.
Yep. So, are you looking up this information yourself, or are you sending it off to?
I think we do like an immediate search on Facebook to see if we can find the Moses Gardner, because Tabitha's the one who knows exactly what he looks like.
You find something from years, but it looks like it was one of those that was made when like Facebook first came up, and folk were like getting in touch with friends, and then there's been basically hardly anything for like the last kind of 10 years. The odd thing of, oh, you know, congrats on so and so getting married or whatever, and then the most recent one yeah, and then the most recent one has just been like basically it's a thing of he's been tagged in it, but it's a thing of we look forward to seeing you all at the memorial service of not Moses Gardner, but his brother, whose name escapes me right now.
Click on that and look at who else is tagged.
Yeah, that's probably a good short list of names. However long it is.
I imagine Tabitha's sitting on the floor against one of the comfy chairs, Lou's sitting next to her, and there's like this person that just fed like asleep, leaning against opposite sides while they're doing these searches.
So yeah, it's one of those where it was basically he was tagged in a lot of friends. Like obviously it was a lot of things. There wasn't really any family that were tagged in the post. So it was mainly, from when you click on some of the other names, it's mainly a lot of like army buddies. So obviously there's had a thing where obviously he's been in the army, and it's obviously like old kind of army buddies that are like, sorry about your brother and blah 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 blah. Loving the cat there, Chris. And there was one that popped up because it was the same surname, but it did come up in the, obviously when you clicked on and it followed for the kind of funeral thing, it did say that his brother Ben, that's who it was, Ben Gardner. His brother Ben basically just went, he's oh my god, I'm trying to think of the word, you know, that way where he's like survived by his like only brother, Moses, and there's a bit in there about how the parents had died and you know all that sort of stuff, and
but
how
Ben is the one that died.
Ben is the one that died originally, that Duke killed.
So he went after in vengeance and then got killed as well.
Yeah. But there's obviously been a few things where you can see this one person that keeps coming up with the same name, like Gardner. It's not Ben, it's just under as like Gardner.p.
Yeah.
And he just keeps sending messages going, "Are you okay?" You know, like periodically it pops up on his page.
I'm clicking on that one.
Yeah, this is the one.
There's almost nothing there. It's almost like this person's just created a Facebook page to be able to get in contact with him. So there's barely anything on there. Doesn't even have a date of birth.
Where's Cal?
He was coming in through the sewers.
I'm here.
Oh, fucking hell.
Cal, we need you to find this person.
Who is it?
Gardner P. Gardner.p. I think he's a relative of Moses Gardner who died
at the warehouse in the fire.
I remember.
We think this other person, P. Gardner, that he's this person. She picks up one of her badly drawn napkins. He's the one that's been following us. He's the one that has been.
Yes.
Okay. I'll send it to Magelda. She can hack into this Facebook account.
Doesn't seem to have really anything on the Facebook account, but we can.
It's fine. You have to have an email to sign up. Then I'll get into the email.
That's true. Right.
Okay. So it takes for a few minutes, but I mean, it's not anything new. It's not like she's never done anything like this before. And it's one of those where he's kind of one of the sort of older generation that doesn't fully understand technology. So like literally like his email address is like pgardner79, you know, and like that kind of thing, and it's easy enough to sort of like like easy enough to hack in and things. So she manages to obviously send what she can to Cal, essentially an email. Forwards you everything that she can get on him.
It was useful. Yeah, and I guess I sift through his stuff, everything we can find about him.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Tabitha's looking right over your shoulder at your phone,
Yeah.
just like.
Yeah, he knows. He doesn't even flinch. He just knows you're there.
So yeah, so it's basically things like he is in his late 50s, although he looks younger. He basically no family, no real friends. There's not a huge amount to go on. Like, he's basically just lived a fairly regular life. But you manage to find a hint that he could be related to Moses. And there's a tiny little, almost like asterisk at the bottom of the email, that basically says the last number that he was contacting was the same one that was obviously harassing Isabella from the Halloween.
Interesting.
What's his address? Did you find his address?
Yeah, is there any has he bought anything off Amazon or eBay? And you get his address.
You find a few different addresses in his name.
Oh yeah, we'll just Google all of them. Narrow it down.
Yeah, not all of them are from this country.
Okay.
Interesting.
It looks like he traveled a lot when he was younger.
How many are from where we are now, The Hague?
There's 2.
Okay.
Probably working home.
There's 2 addresses.
Well, let's check them both out.
Yeah, I'll quickly check them on like Google Satellite. Like, are they? Is there anything conspicuous about them? Google Earth.
One of them no longer exists. It was a building that was like torn down. And the other one is an office building.
I'll relay that information to Lou and Tabitha. We should go here first. It's an office building. Is there like a company name for the office? Or is it loads of different ones?
It's loads of different ones. It's
Okay.
almost like, from what you can gather, it almost seems like it's sort of like a temp agency.
Okay.
So one that obviously people get sent out to do random jobs for a set amount of time.
Probably not still there, but we might be able to find some records.
You can have a look around. It's obviously not going to be, well, probably won't be in operation right now, so I can always slip in.
Okay. So you guys are going to investigate this office building.
Yeah.
On the way, I will tell Stephen that I am done for the night.
I feel like he's already well aware of this, but yeah, definitely tell him that you're done for the night.
And I will tell him, there's a couple of people in the VIP room who I think have had a bit too much to drink, so maybe call them a taxi.
He's like, yeah, usual. He's like, thanks, Lou.
Oh, well, you
Sort of like smacks you on the back.
Little lower. No.
He just looks at you like, what?
Never mind. I'll go get grumpy and we can leave.
There we go. We go.
Yeah. I'll swing around and get Reinhardt before we head out the club.
I just blast him with everything we've learned. I just tell him everything.
Yeah. I was going to say, are you doing anything specific before you leave the club?
Sorry, who's that to?
Any of these.
I'd probably be asking Cal if he can get me a replacement phone. And then I'll just show my mostly crushed phone.
Unnecessarily broken phone.
Happened.
A giant bat flying around happened.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of phones at the rookery. I'll give you some.
Thank you.
This one will be smart though, so you'll have to learn to use that touch typing.
I can use a computer. I'm pretty sure I can manage this.
Yeah, you'll be fine. We found our stalker's family connection. We're gonna go check out his office building. You come in?
Do you need me to come?
Well, I mean, probably best that we all stick together unless you have other plans.
No, I don't, but I just wonder if there's anything else I could potentially do to be more help.
I'd like you to tell me what this is, and I'll show him a picture of that eye. I'm assuming you didn't get to see it because your phone got destroyed.
No. And I didn't get my phone go off. Can I figure out what this is?
Yeah, you can. It's nothing that you've seen before, but it's not in a, oh my god, it's something new and exciting. It's more, it just looks like a eye that a kid would draw.
Okay, so it's
non-magical. Like a big sort of, yeah, no, it doesn't. It looks like someone's left it there for like a reason, like as a mark, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not anything that you would have immediately recognized as a street tag, just because of the way that it's essentially been drawn. But it's definitely not anything magical.
It's like a hobo sign. That's it.
Yep. Or maybe a really bad attempt at an impressionist eye.
Maybe. I've just realised you're going to have a smartphone. You'll finally have the chance to try and interpret Tabitha's messages.
I can try.
Tabitha's already out front.
Tabitha's like gone.
We called an Uber.
Wonderful. I will make sure that she doesn't wander off.
Easier said than done. So yeah, it's fairly quick. You guys get the Uber to this office building. It's late. There's obviously no one around. But it does look like it has some form of security guard.
Looks like I might be up to bat.
Get us in.
Yes. Well, let's do this. Lou's just going to walk over to the security guard, and rather than trying to do this in any... rather than trying to do this in any natural way, he's just going to go straight in for the entrancement.
Okay. In this case, you will probably have to roll for it because he is security guard and he is working.
That's fine. I can roll. So it's presence plus charisma, is it?
I am. Yes, charisma and presence.
Did you say that the front was open?
It's basically there's a security guard. Like the doors are closed, like they're locked, but he can see you. So obviously, if you go up to him, there's like a little intercom, and he can talk to you.
Yeah.
So
essentially, we're at least me and Cal are unseen and waiting for the door to be opened.
Yeah. Essentially.
That's probably one of the best rolls I've had in this game so far. That is 4 successes and 1 critical success.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was never going to beat that, so that's fine. So, that's fine. I mean, obviously, they immediately sit up straighter, and they're like, "Hi, can I help you?"
Yes, hi there.
You'll need to push a buzzer. Like his one comes through, you need to push a buzzer.
I push the buzzer and just go, yes, hi there. I need to get inside the building, and I need you to let me in.
He's just kind of like, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, we're right there.
Thank you.
And then you just hear this.
Yeah,
As the door opens.
Immediately open the door and just go. Sometimes I like to take my time with these things, but I feel like time is of the essence at this point. Come on, let's go.
So is Reinhardt with them?
To be?
I think since I was asked and that I didn't turn out to be anything that I could go away and research, then I'll just toddle along to see what happens. Like, I'm still not overly concerned about this.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fine. So yeah, you guys make your way inside.
Okay. Let's just
is there like a directory where is there like P
Yeah,
Gardner,
so
floor 32 or whatever?
it doesn't have his name, but it does have a list of the kind of companies. So the one that he'd obviously put in, it's on like the 3rd floor.
Okay. Yeah, go there.
Yep. Let's head on up.
Okay, so you get there and there's nothing. Doesn't look like there's anything special. You can't see anything with his name on it, or anything like that.
Just an office space?
Yep.
Is there anything in the room? Computer, filing cabinet, anything?
All of the above. It's literally like you come in, there's a little sort of reception area in front of like the lift and the staircase. And after that, it's almost like a normal office, essentially.
Cubicles and things.
Yeah. And like phones and things like that.
I'm gonna hunt through the office and just look at, because people put pictures on their cubicles, and try to find ones that don't have anything, or ones that would have a picture of Moses.
Okay. There you can't find anything with a picture of Moses on it, or Ben. But you do find a few with nothing on it.
I'll start searching those ones to see if there's his name on anything. Opening filing cabinets, and I'm not touching computers. That's not my thing.
Yeah, I'll do the computers. You do. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. If
I'm saying that I didn't go up with the rest of them. I've gone to the door where the security guard was.
That's fair. Okay, so if
This office that we seem to have just walked into,
Uh-huh.
Is there any security cameras inside it?
There doesn't seem to be, no. They're mainly located at the front entrance and at the staircases.
Any of this is?
We probably need to do something about that.
So that's right. So if say this, so Tabitha's looking through all of like the filing cabinets and things like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying
So
to
if you
find-
could
Yeah, she's trying to find anything with his name on it. Maybe like an employee directory as well would be helpful. There's offices.
Okay, so if you do either an awareness or an investigation check,
I'll do an awareness check.
and then Rob for Cal, he's looking through computers, yeah?
Can I make an argument for
Go for it.
Streetwise
Okay.
in
What would
terms of
you...
Streetwise in terms of like, I don't know, I feel like that's part of like an investigation thing, like of searching out about people. I don't know, maybe it's a stretch. I don't know how Streetwise works in this system and what it says in the book. But I feel like that's like,
I mean, supposedly it's the understanding the ins and outs of criminal and urban society.
yeah. So urban society being part of the office inner workings and how that works between people. I could also use everything is connected ability and use it.
This is true. I feel like, to be fair, you could probably get away with doing Streetwise. I imagine you'll have been in enough offices even before you were turned into a vampire to know how like indexes work and things like that, and how although places have their own systems, there are still a lot of things that are universal, like things are in alphabetical order or they're in number order and things.
Yeah.
Cal, if you want to do a technology roll for me.
Yep, I've done. That's what this was going to be. I got 2 successes, no failure. Well, 1 failure, blank.
So not
2 successes, 2 failures. My failures were on my hunger die. I'm back into 4.
Excellent. Love that. Okay, so you said you got 2 successes and 2 failures.
Yes. Yeah.
And then how many successes was it? 2, 3?
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so Cal, you obviously work your magic. I imagine you're almost at the reception desk. Because that would obviously give you a lot of information. You find obviously a few sort of gardeners. You find one pea gardener. The last time he got a job here was probably about a year ago. It lasted for a good few months, but he hasn't been back since. But you do have information on him that you weren't able to find on social media. Tabitha, you also find some information. You find obviously the kind of employee files. It doesn't really tell you anything much except for the fact that he is a hard worker and he is basically a bit of a loner. So there's been a few things with altercations in some previous positions, but it doesn't go into more detail. But as you are obviously looking through everything, you do accidentally knock the filing cabinet over.
Do I find his address?
You can't find anything with any address on it.
Oh, she knocks it over on purpose because she's angry.
That's
good. Step over and come back out. I can't find his address.
Can I get his address off the computer records?
You can try. Obviously, they're under a little bit more scrutiny than some of the other things because obviously data protection. So like his
Yeah.
address, obviously payment details and things like that are all under lock and key. So if you do another technology roll for me.
Does it
Yeah,
tell
come
me
on.
which one of the cubicles is his?
No, because he doesn't have one at the moment. His last job was working somewhere else, and he was only there until about 6 months ago.
Is there anything in the system you can do to like push yourself? Get another go.
You can use willpower to re-roll.
Oh, really? Oh, I would have
Gonna
done
do
that
that.
earlier.
You can only do it though on certain. You can only really do it on like skill checks. You
Uh-huh.
can't do it for
So for disciplines.
no. No, you can do it for that. It's more for
Like hunger checks or something like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna use the willpower then to reroll because
Yeah, so you can re-roll up to 3 regular dice, not your hunger dice.
I've got nothing. Okay. Oh, same again. Nope. 3 fails.
Again, like say you get just you end up finding something that's similar to what Tabitha found, where doesn't it gives you a little bit about his personality, like the fact that he's a loner, but he's hardworking, and determined. That's kind of all you really get at the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna text Lou and say, I can't find anything. Can you pretend to be his long lost son or something? Find him.
No, well, yeah, yeah. I was already kind of planning a thing, so.
The filing cabinet back up.
So whilst all that's been going on, Lou would have knocked on the door to the security room.
Oh, you wouldn't need to, like, once you get in, it's like a main desk.
Okay, so he's going to just speak to the security guard and just go, listen, I'm in a bit of a bind, and I'm looking for a person who has worked here before, and I'd like to know where we can find employee records that will give us some contact information or a forwarding address for this person. Can you help me with that?
Okay. He immediately is like, I would need sort of their name and the company, but I might be able to find something for you.
His name is Gardner. P. Gardner.
And he starts looking through and he's like, okay, we've had a few. What was, can you give me any more information?
I sent you a screenshot of everything I found.
Yeah, I'll kind of go through and see if I can find like his full first name or anything like that.
So his name is Peter.
Peter.
And he is 57 years of age.
Peter Gardner. He should be in his late 50s.
And he's like, oh, okay. And he starts sort of looking through, and then it's like, oh, Pete.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got an address, but it's basically a PO box.
Interesting.
That's all we have.
Well, if you can give me the PO box, I'm sure I can find a way to get in contact with him that way.
And he's just like, yeah, of course. And he writes it down and hands it to you.
Wonderful. Do you have like a contact number for him at all?
Yeah, and he gives you a contact number.
No.
And he's like, just to let you know, nobody's heard from him in like 6 months.
Well, that is kind of why I'm here looking for him. But it's good to know that you're having the same issue and it's not just us. Well, thank you very much for your help. You've been so wonderful.
He's like, okay.
And I will...
This whole sigh thing at you.
The entrancment's great. I'm just going to message Cal back and just send him back the mobile number and the PO box address. And just go, I think we could probably make something of that. Fairly certain you need to give a home address when you open up a PO box.
Yeah, nice work. Yeah, he'll reply back like, well played, and then send it to his ghoul and be like, find me who this belongs to.
Okay. She gets back fairly quickly to you. Say that obviously the PO box belongs to a pea gardener. And basically gives you all the information. It's not the address is for a sort of almost like a kind of Airbnb type thing where where like the person almost lives there but someone else lives there as well.
Sublet.
Kind
Or
of
something
thing,
more temporary.
Yeah. That type of idea where it's almost like couch surfing. So like his name pops up in accordance with the PO box because he needs somewhere stable to send like mail and things. But he's part of an app where it's like essentially he couch surfs, so he's
But
not
no
got an
fixed
actual
address.
specific. Yeah.
No.
But it does give his last address as somewhere that he was there sort of about 2 weeks ago.
I'll text it to the group.
Yeah, he's not there now, but that is his last address.
Do we have any spies who can be out in the daylight?
I do.
I'm just thinking if maybe we should get them to watch the PO box during the daytime and see if they can spot this guy coming to collect his post.
Yeah, I can then have a word.
Chances are, I'm assuming he's not going to be going and collecting his post in the night.
I need to get my replacement phone first, but I can ask once I get it.
That's fine.
What time is it at this point?
It's probably coming up to about 3 o'clock in the morning at this point.
What time does the sun rise?
I mean, it's kind of middle of November, so probably about 7-ish.
Okay.
So you still have a few hours, but you do realise obviously at this point a lot of people are going to be heading home.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I will also say that when Tabitha was having a vision, you did realise that he had a plan, but it was almost like a long-term type plan. So you do realise that nothing's going to happen right away, but something big. He's planning something big. It's just going to be not right now.
Thinking maybe we could provoke this guy. into showing his hand earlier. And I have an idea.
Well, what is it?
Well, we saw on Facebook that there was a memorial service to this guy's brother, which I'm guessing if we dug into that, we could maybe find out where his brother was buried.
Oh.
And
yeah.
we know of an address where he can have post sent. So I say we leave him a nice little package.
It's a good idea.
So what's your plan then?
I'm gonna go
Spacing
back and
around.
get Reinhardt a phone. I'll meet you at the graveyard.
Right.
What's Tabitha doing?
Pacing around, wondering he could be watching us right now. Maybe he's on one of those buildings. Maybe I'll go check. What if he's over there? What if he's working with something else? What if he's part of the bigger deal, bigger issue?
I feel like he has to be working with someone of the kind of magic that, if everything's connected, then the kind of magic that's on the wards for prey are maybe a human could do that, but either way.
It may not be related. This could be, as far as we know, what happened at that warehouse isn't related to what's going on, is it?
No, that
could just be old bad blood.
That
Yeah.
was an isolated incident, so this might just be a way of wrapping up a loose end to get rid of this guy, and that we can focus our attention on the club, because that's going to be the big thing. But still, we should try and not have to deal with everything at the same time, so let's force this guy's hand.
And how are you planning to do that?
I am planning to dig up his brother, remove his head, put it in a package, and send it to his P.O. box. With a little note saying, "We're watching you too." This guy has a long-term plan. Let's make it a short-term plan. Give us the advantage.
You'll make a mess and make mistakes then.
Yes.
We should send the eyes. It's more poetic.
The eyes. Well, the eyes are the first thing to decompose, so I doubt the eyes are even there anymore.
Was
What a
he
shame.
even... Do we know he was buried?
Let's hope.
I mean, because otherwise we're sending some dust.
That's fair. We can very much hope that he was buried. If not,
If not, we can just send photos of the gravestone. Let him know that we know.
we could
or
go
whatever
through
effect of there is.
Go through his friends lists on Facebook and pick out people who have been a bit more active with him recently and send photos of them. There's a few different options that we could go, but I feel like head in a box sends a real message, if that is an option.
I'll meet you there anyway. It's been a while since I've hung out in a graveyard.
Yes, I never really got into that whole scene. I know it's like part of the aesthetic for all this, but no. It just felt so cliche.
It's early morning, isn't it? At the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go and see if we can track down the place where the brother was buried.
On the way, Tabitha's going to find someone by themselves and feed.
Slurp, slurp.
And essentially grab them, feed, and then say, forget, and then keep walking.
That's fair. I mean, especially if it's unexpected, then it's an easy enough thing for her to do.
They have to do it.
There are very few people out at this time.
Should I do? Is it a willpower roll to make sure I don't drain them?
Yeah. Because you're at 4 hunger, aren't you?
Yeah.
Again, there's still a bit of chaos going on in your head.
Yeah. Let's see. 1 success.
Okay. So you take a little bit more than what you were planning to, but the person is still alive. They're very dazed. Even after saying forget, like they're still like what? But you get away with no issues, and your hunger is back down to 2.
Nice.
Nice. So yeah, through the Facebook post about the memorial service and all that, can we work out where the brother is?
I mean, he was only killed about, 2-3 weeks ago.
Hmm.
So luckily for you, he was buried, but obviously there isn't a gravestone or anything yet because you can't put a gravestone on a grave until at least 6 months after they've been buried. Random fact for y'all.
Hmm.
So at the moment it's an unmarked grave, so you would have to try and find the right one.
Yeah. So. It's an interesting thought.
Look for fresh ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Couple
a
of weeks.
fairly big cemetery. There's a lot of fairly new ones.
Anything you can divine, Tabby?
I can try. Try to sniff him out.
Yeah.
Walking along like
Looking for his the echoes of life. Echoes of emotions and grief.
So are you going to trance this?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say because you're not quite as on edge anymore, it comes sort of fairly easy. Obviously, the problem is the graveyard. There's lots of grief, especially because there has been a few very, very new graves. So you wander around. There's like maybe about 30 new graves have been in from what you can tell, that sort of basically all the ones without headstones.
I think probably looking at the ones that are near other servicemen.
Okay. There's a few. None of them that are too new. Like say, there's some that have headstones on them, and things like that. There's not really a huge one, or a new one, I should say, not a huge one. There's not really a new one near any sort of military personnel that you can see.
Okay. And I will use premonition to try to get some insight.
Okay. You kind of narrow it down because it's not. Basically, you found the area where it's almost like it's people that don't have like obviously a family plot or anything like that, or they're near loved ones or whatever. So there's sort of 2 or 3 that have a similar sort of feel that are in the same kind of timeline, like by the kind of grass that's growing around them and the way the kind of dirt's settled. So there's sort of like 2 or 3 that could possibly be his.
Okay.
They're all fairly close together.
Dig him up. There's no one around, right? There's no one with her.
No.
Not many. Hopefully, not many people hang around at a graveyard at 3
Someone
o'clock in the
brooding
morning.
over their father's tomb or whatever.
No, I mean, I feel like I'm the only one that's actually wandered around gravestones at midnight in the dark. And there's very few people around. Apparently,
My
it's
experience is
creepy.
people drinking.
Yep. Just.
I mean, that's unfortunate. I find them very peaceful walking about at night in the dark. But no, there's not really anybody around.
Go ahead and exhume the body.
So you're just starting with one and just hoping for the best.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we'll go trust on Tabby's instincts.
Okay. So like I say, there's about 3 of them. They're almost kind of next to each other. The emotion surrounding it is still very strong, so you can't quite narrow it down, but you know it's concentrated in this sort of area.
We can always just dig up all 3, I guess.
Yeah.
One person per grave whilst another keeps watch.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I will say that you guys are vampires, so we're probably just gonna skip over the digging up a grave thing. I imagine you are strong enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you guys attempting to cover your tracks?
Probably be a good
When we
idea.
found the body, yeah.
Yeah. We'll rebury once we've found the right one.
Okay. That's fine. So you guys start to dig up the bodies. Who's keeping watch?
Someone with a good awareness score.
Yeah.
Who's
Got 3.
You got a 3, I only got a 2.
I'll keep watching. And I can be invisible as well, so I make a good canary.
That's fine. The rest of us will be digging up.
Okay, so Cal, if you can do an awareness roll for me.
Sure.
Ever done this before, Reinhard?
Yep.
I knew you were gonna say that.
2 successes.
Okay. So you are watching. You can hear people in the distance. It's not anything that you're overly worried about at the moment. Again, they seem a bit too far away right now for you to be overly worried, but you would need to be careful because sound does carry a little bit because it's a fairly open space. So you might need to give them a heads up to keep quiet, especially when potentially breaking open a coffin.
Yeah, I'll just text Lou saying voices. Shh.
Yeah. react to Cal's messages as they come through to make sure that we're being discreet enough.
Okay, if everyone can do a straight strength check for me. Obviously not Cal, because you're keeping watch.
Not digging.
Everyone that's digging, make a straight strength check
Dig
for me.
and dig and dig and dig.
Are these hunger die as well? No.
This one, I'm gonna say no because I just want to know how quietly you can open this.
Oh, 2 successes then.
1 success and 1 critical success.
1 success and 1 critical failure.
Ooh.
Tabitha's singing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, you open it really quietly, but then you're like, ah, she opened it up. And making up silly songs, start singing like the dig song from Snow White. As you're like digging up all this stuff, completely oblivious to the fact that Lou's like, shut the fuck up. But you managed to open the coffin quite quietly, so that's a bonus. And now I am going to roll to see if it finds the body.
The Addams Family theme song.
The creepy and the spooky, mysterious, kooky. Together, keep the Addams Family.
Right. Anyway, stop distracting me.
That's where Tabitha's last name came from.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay, so Tabitha, you open yours as you're singing away, and it ironically turns out to be a fairly young girl that looks creepily like not Marcus Adam, Wednesday Adams.
Oh, is she wearing any jewelry?
Yes,
I'll
you're going to
take
steal
it.
the jewelry.
I
Yeah,
am.
of course you are. Of course she's wearing jewelry. She's been buried. So yeah, so you start singing away as you're pulling all this jewelry out of
Jewelry off,
this
then
random
close
person.
it back up. Not this one. Start burying it.
So Lou and Reinhardt, you basically open yours about the same time. Tabitha's like been digging away because she's like singing her song, so she got there much faster than you guys. Also because I imagine you two were being slightly more careful about where you were shoveling dirt. Tabitha's just like so you guys basically open the coffin about the same time. You both have middle-aged men that could potentially fit the description. So the only one that's properly, well, I mean, Lou, you could possibly have recognized them from back in the warehouse. I don't know, how good is your memory? Let's see.
How do you measure memory?
Yeah, that's what I'm just checking. Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Straight intelligence roll. Let me have one for
2 successes.
Okay. So you realise that the guy that's in front of you, although close, isn't quite the same as the person that you saw at the warehouse that night.
It's not this
So
one.
you do not. So by process of elimination.
Yeah, I'll go and peek over and look at Reinhardt's body. The body that Reinhardt's digging up.
Yeah, not Reinhardt's actual body, yes. And it is the body of Moses Gardner.
Well, Reinhardt, you got the jackpot.
Okay. Do you want his head?
Yep. Don't have to be gentle about it. I feel the more grisly it is, the better.
Okay. I'm going to activate lethal body. I'm going to flip him over so he's on his front. And then just shove my hand straight through his back and grab his spine. And then pull up and out.
Love
Predator
it.
style.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Predator rip.
hold on, let me look something up quickly. Honestly, I look up the weirdest things with you guys.
So no, like with perfect body, I can break bones and tear skin with my bare fingers.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware of that. Yeah. Um. I just want to double check something before I A-OK that. Mm, mm. Right, Edwards. Okay. I just mainly want to see exactly how potentially gross this is going to be when you do this.
Pretty
And also, I
gross,
want
I'd
to make
imagine.
sure. I also want to make sure that they don't add other things into it.
Right.
Because I know that depending on how someone's died and if they've got an open casket, they sometimes can. Blah, blah, blah. Oh wow, that's a lot of fluid. Excellent. Um, okay. Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to double check that they didn't actually add, like, obviously I know about all the fluids and stuff like that, but I just wanted to make sure they weren't going to add anything else. Okay, so as you predator style, essentially try and rip this spine out, the moment you shove your fingers and they break skin, there's literally almost like an explosion of fluid comes out of the body. Because it's not that old. So there's still, it hasn't really fully seeped into skin because sometimes it leaks.
Yeah.
But it literally explodes out of this
Grizzly.
corpse all the way up your arm. It gets under your sleeve and everything. You get covered in embalming fluid.
I'm gonna have to get rid of this suit.
And as you grab the spine and obviously pull, there's just the spray of fluid that goes up and over. So Lou, if you're there, you're getting hit. There's no getting away from it. Tabitha, you're probably in the grave next to him, so you might be safe. But
Reburying. So.
yeah, but Reinhardt and Lou are covered in all of this fluid, and it stinks.
You wanted a message?
Yes. I didn't anticipate you ripping out the entire spine, and this.
You'll be able to like curl it up and make it look like a snake. It'll be very artistic.
Sure. Let's rebury these bodies
Love it.
and
Nice.
go.
I mean, how much of a message do you really want to send?
I just want to provoke the fucker into acting.
How badly do you want to provoke him?
Pretty badly. This guy's trying to fuck with us, and I don't want to give him the chance.
Nah, I probably won't be able to do it here. Just thinking about it, I don't know the things to do it. Let's just bury him.
So we take some time to rebury the bodies and then.
I will say that I will need probably just Tabitha to do just a straight dexterity check for me. I just want to see how well you're paying attention to the body and the mess you made to be able to put it back enough that it's not going to cause suspicion.
Critical success and a success.
Excellent.
Nice.
So as you were singing away, you're singing away as you're putting. Yep. I'm just you're the one that stole from the dead.
That's fair. They're not using it.
I'm aware of this. But yeah, so you managed to get it back enough so that it's not going to cause suspicion the next day, especially because it hasn't rained in a little while. So disturbed earth could look really noticeable. But he's managed to do a good enough job that unless someone's looking really, really closely, they're not going to notice it. The downfall that you have, though, is the fact that the place smells horrific because Reinhardt decided to rip the spine out of this dead body. And that smell doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon.
It's outside.
Also, the fact that you guys are going to have to potentially get back to your flat with them both stinking of literal death.
You go very quickly.
And you also have a head and a spine. Just does anyone have a bag with them?
Imagine Cal probably would.
Yeah, he has a rucksack.
Put the head in the rucksack.
For all eventualities, even if it's heads and spines.
You always bring a backpack.
Don't forget to bring a backpack.
So you guys have a head and a spine and a backpack.
Nice.
You, by this point, you've probably got about an hour until sunrise. You probably don't have enough time to potentially. It's either go home or potentially get trapped somewhere else.
Let's go home and.
It's home time. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go home, package it up, and get it sent out to the box.
Yeah, if you guys are going to go to the flat, I'm going to head back to my place. Because I'm going to dispose of my clothes.
That's fair.
And since I've got my new phone now, I'll message my criminal contacts and say that I need one person to go keep an eye on this P.O. box. I need another person to come pick a bag up from me and burn the contents.
That's fine. You don't get a reply right away, but you usually know you're going to get a reply within a few hours. As well, because of the time of night it is. If they're doing something, their phones are on silent.
Yeah.
So you know that you'll get a reply before too long. Is anyone else doing anything specific before they get back to?
No, I feel like we've achieved.
Yeah, I think we've done.
Making a beeline.
Yeah.
Beeline for
anything else.
A shower and go to bed.
Yeah.
I think Lou might like just stop at a random dumpster, dump his clothes, and then just run home, run the rest of the home in his underwear, so he's not stinking of this, not having to deal with all this fluid and the smell.
Fair. That's fine. So you guys get home with seemingly no issues.
Nice.
Cal's not going to stay at his house. He's going to stay in the sewers because he wants to talk to the ratlings about what they saw.
Okay.
And also a bit worried about his flat being all smashed up.
Okay. So as you go down in the sewers, you notice that something is watching you and following you. You look up and it's your little bat friend.
Oh, sweet. Okay. The bat's in the sewer.
He's bigger, much bigger than what he was, but he's still not human-sized bat.
Cool. When I get signal, I'll send a picture to Lou and say, "See, not my bat."
Sounds mess about. Didn't doubt it.
So you're still just heading down to the sewers, yeah?
Yeah, I just spent the night there, like I've done it before. Yeah. It's not glamorous or anything, but it's a place where I know no one will interrupt me.
Yeah. On the way back to the flat, I'd be looking around to make sure no one was following us.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. You, even with obviously your premonition, your heightened senses, you can't sense anyone following you. Again, you even from like your initial vision, you knew that he, again, didn't want to get too close. He was very much up for watching you at a huge distance, and this was a calculated risk that he was taking by sending you that picture. But he was trying to get you to react. He didn't think you'd go quite as far as you have.
I bet he didn't.
But most people wouldn't, to be fair.
No.
So
he's in over his head.
Well, yeah. Also, his brother said, or family member's head.
Yes.
So yeah. So you guys go to settle in for the night. But then, Cal, as you are getting yourself ready, your little bat friend has followed you into the sewers. And as you are obviously setting yourself up to get as comfy as you can be in the sewers, you notice that your hands start to look a little bit weird, like weirder than normal.
My hands.
They are starting to change shape.
Not good.
And you look up and this bat is hanging upside down from the ceiling, staring at you. And then it all goes black. And that's going to be us for this year, guys.
Yay. Well, thank you for those who have joined us on Twitch. We are Wayfarers League, and you can find us at wayfarersleague.com. There are links on our website to our Discord, our YouTube, and our Twitch. And if you're watching this on our Twitch or our YouTube, please make sure to do all the liking, subscribing, commenting, and all those wonderful things that help to support us. In the meantime, we will be back in the new year with potentially a bunch more streams starting up. So with a continuation of Vampire the Masquerade, the next season of Homebrew Labs, and potentially a couple of other bits here and there. So we look forward to sharing those with you. But for now, everyone, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, and to everyone, a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.